got involved with in helping people with abatements. And they're helping us is Kim Shepard, who is a licensed real estate broker here in the city of Worcester, and she's been working with the Tea Party, and Bonnie Johnson, who's head of the Seven Hills Tea Party, and Lorraine Foster, who is a victim of, she's appearing to be a victim of assessments placed on her residential property that she's really in question about what it's all about. So, Lorraine, I'm going to let you go on here for a couple of minutes. Well, actually, we only got, what, Mike, 2 minutes? 3 minutes. And then we're going to break, and we're going to get back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what the Tea Party is going to be doing and how we're going to approach this thing. So go ahead.
So I start where I said I had a drama.
You start any way you like.
When I talked to him on the telephone, I asked him why my taxes were so high. So he said I had a drama. Then I was going to pay one way or another, or he was going to get me for my back door. Then he was going to get me for my garage. Then he went and left that position and said that he has 2 children. He's in from New York. He's 44 years old. He has a 14-room house. He has 2 acres of land. He has $600,000 was what he paid for it instead of the $1 million. And his taxes are based on what he paid for the house. I said to him, why can't my taxes be paid on the basis of what I paid for my house, which was only $105? He said, no, you can't do that. He said, I was giving you a cost, and that's what you're going to pay. Fine. Then he said he makes good money at City Hall, and he says, and he turned around and he says, and my wife makes more. So he said, this is why we bought this piece of property.
I don't know why that's relevant. And his value of sale would only be based on arm's length transaction, number one, and number two, whether that was in the current year when the assessed valuation of the property was, because our assessed valuations are not in the current year that we operate.
But Jordan,
evaluations of the previous year's valuations.
Jordan, if I could break in here,
Yep.
That is one of the problems with Assessor Ford's house, is he valued it at what he paid for it in June or July of 2010. So he didn't even follow the abatement rules, which is prior to January.
The values have to be January, those will be January 09 values.
Yeah, he even lowered it from what he paid. His assessed value is lower than what he paid for it in June and July of 2010.
Okay, we're at this point. We're going to break in a minute. What I really want to know is, you went to the council last night, and when we come back, what did the council say, and how did they approach this thing? Because it has to be some determination of, what the process is, the procedures are, and whether or not, values are values, and whether they're valid. I'm concerned about the values too, because it reflects on all of us.
Everybody. And
certainly when a full value is coming, I don't know what's going to happen. I can guarantee everyone listening to this show that taxes are going up next year. I don't care what values they put on, because they're going to find one way or another, either with the tax rate or the assessed valuation of the property. The city's going to have to generate X amount of money, but we have to protect ourselves to whatever degree and make sure that this thing is done right. I'll pay my fair share. I just want to make sure it's fair. I just want to make sure it's fair, and that I'm paying an equal amount to everybody else that has the same amenities I have, not more than, because I have a bigger mouth than some people. So, that's not going to play with me. So, Mike, why don't we take a little break right now? When we come back, we're going to talk to our lady friends here and find a little bit more about what happened last night at the city council meeting, what the next step is going to be. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, just for this edification, revaluation came to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It came to the city of Worcester because of 2 brothers who found that they were disproportionately being assessed, and they sued the city of Worcester. And that's how revaluation came. Matter of fact, that's how I came to public office in 1975, over revaluation and disparaging values that were placed on properties. And people had, on the same street, would have a variety of values, indiscriminate. And that's how this whole thing started. That's how the revaluation law started in Massachusetts. So people don't have a free ride just to do what they want to do. We'll be back.